Hi, welcome to the Path program, week 1, day 2. In yesterday's video, we started to look at some of the things that make us who we are, and what we're really looking at this week is your personal power, the choice that each of us has in our lives, not only to do what we would like to do, but also, sorry, there's dogs bumping the table, but also to be who we choose to be. We have the power over that, and the expression of our power is called our word, and we're going to be looking a lot more into the power of our word. There's a reason why 2 books in the Bible start with, in the beginning was the Word, right? The Genesis story, and I think the Gospel of John start with this. It might just be John. In the beginning was the Word. So it's like there was nothing in the beginning except the power to create. And I come from the Quaker tradition. My dad and my grandfather, both Quakers. And in Quakers have a concept that we call that of God in everyone. So, whatever your personal beliefs are, don't matter particularly to, in this context, but I think that the key message is that creative power, that creative word exists in all of us. Like a divine power to create, and of course power to destroy. So we're going to be looking more at word. And so yesterday's exercise, in that exercise we started to write down our signposts. These are signposts that have been indelibly etched onto your memory, things in your past that have happened to you, or could even be also media influences. For me, I've written down a few things. Bilbo Baggins' birthday party in Lord of the Rings was one significant one that literally came from media. There have been songs that have stuck in my mind. There have been just excerpts from films and books and things like that for some reason mean an awful lot to me. There was, one was there was a program called Kizzy when I was very young, a kids program based on a book, and it's about the girl who was a half gypsy, and something about the cover of the book and the picture of this girl and the way she was dressed stuck with me. It was informal, it was comfortable, it was somehow authentic and real. And authentic and real, it's like this search for authentic human living seems to be very, very powerful for me personally. So, what we're going to be doing is, keep looking back at those signposts. If you come up with any more, stick them down in your book. I've got mine literally. I've got 1 page per day for the exercises that we're doing, and start to imagine or try and spot what is it that all of those signposts have in common. What do they share? What are they pointing to? Right? They're all pointing in a direction, and that is the direction. That's our compass bearing for our path. What is that direction? What is it that we are being drawn towards? What is the direction that we're being called to travel? So I think that's a very important thing for me, and more than just how can we do things better, which applies to conversion rate optimization, which ultimately I don't care an awful lot about deep down. And why don't I care about it? Because it's not the core thing. Right? If you imagine getting a piece of paper and you draw a circle on that piece of paper for everything that you're about, or something that you've succeeded in, something that you've been passionate about, whatever, and all of those circles overlap. I've got things to do with music, I've got things to do with living, growing vegetables, marketing, all this kind of stuff. Now, all of those things overlap to some degree, and I believe that if you mapped all those out, it's physically impossible to do it, but if you mapped all those out, there would be one area in the middle where all your circles overlap. All the things that you actually love or actually appreciate, the stuff that you've done that you don't enjoy doesn't belong on there. That's not you. And I think that is our path. That is our kind of ultimate signpost for our path. What is it all these things are about? And for me, I'm starting to think that it's more about authentic living. So, day 2, exercise. This is very simple. All you need to do is take your pencil and you're going to write down a whole load of words that have described you in the past or up to the present. Okay? So I've got things like literally boy, man, student, scholar, athlete, Christian, atheist, agnostic, husband, father, stepfather, adoptive father, divorcee, guitarist, singer, inventor, hippie, company director, entrepreneur, marketer, teacher, blogger, right? Or just write down anything you can, just in a few minutes, take 2 or 3 minutes to write down all the words that you can. And it might be good actually to pause the video at this point and then come back. So why don't you go ahead and pause, write that stuff down, just take a few minutes and then play again. Okay, so I hope you've got a list of words, could be nouns, might be adjectives. Next thing I'd like you to do is to go through that list and just cross out any of the words that have described you in the past that don't describe you today. Right? I have crossed out boy, scholar, Christian, Muslim, adoptive father, wife beater. That word has been used to describe me in the past. Company director, I'm not one anymore. Rock climber, speaker, haven't done that for a few years. Didgeridoo maker and didgeridoo player. I've still got 3 didges in my garage and I'm not currently using them. So yeah, I've crossed out a bunch of words. And what does that tell us? If you cross out the words that don't apply to you, what does that tell you? Because there might be some of those things that just, it's just a matter of time. You grow from a boy into a man, a girl into a woman. Okay, fair enough. But, I could still be a climber, I could still be a speaker, I could still be a conversion rate optimization specialist. And I'm not. So, what's this saying to us? Well, surely it's saying that for many different reasons, what we have been in the past does not have to be what we are now. And for the same reason, we can use the same logic to say what we are now does not have to be what we are tomorrow. Right? I can choose to be any of those things again. I can choose to go back to church if I want to go back to church. Right? I can choose to study Islam if I choose to do that. I could dedicate my time to playing the didgeridoo. The point is that I choose. Right? I have chosen not to be those things. Right? Rock climbing, I had an accident and lost my nerve for it, but I could do it. Right? If I put my word into conquering the fear of heights and rock climbing, I can do it if I choose. And this is the key. This is really just the the very, very simple essence to what we're talking about in the path is you lay all these things out. You do not have to be, you do not have to do any of these things, but you may if you put your word to it. Because your word is extraordinarily powerful. So that's the exercise for today. Who you have been is not who you are now. You are not a product of your past. You are also a product of your future. Your future is defined by what do you most want to have happen? What is the world that you would like to see? What is the life that you would like to live? What is the mission that you choose for yourself in this world? What is your soul, your deepest purpose, your truest identity calling you to be? These are all things that pull us into the future. So we don't have to be defined by our past, but we may. Any of those things are there, apart from boy. I can act like a boy. Any of those things are there. I could choose to be any of those things. And I can choose not to be any of those things. Or I may choose something else. So that's day 2. Thanks for your time.